This is a subject that I find a lot of people aren't willing to entertain, and even people who are my friends in this industry, I find are not the most open to it. And this is totally fine, and something that I'm doing in all of my videos is I'm hoping to not say like, hey, this is everything, this is the way. I'm more trying to shine a light onto a side of things that not many people really talk about. And I simply just find it important to have a voice that says these things in the world. But let's start talking about you. Maybe you've dealt with chronic pain or chronic tension in your body for a long time. Maybe you've tried treatments, a list as long as Santa Claus's wish list. And maybe you're ready for a different point of view. One that's been helping many of my students lately, and one that's helped myself to the moon and back. And here's the thing, it's not traditional exercise. It's not physical therapy. It's not corrective exercise. It's not movement patterns, nor is it stretching or stretching techniques. This is actually a completely different way of thinking about all of this. It's a whole human approach that includes thinking about posture, emotions, fears, your upbringing, your subconscious patterning, and most importantly, tension and relaxation. And this is the thing, and this is something that I notice, is that I think a lot of people avoid this level of depth of work unless they really, really need to do it. Some people will watch this video and they'll say, he's so dumb. Of course you can do all of this with exercise. Let me make something clear. Those people haven't experienced what you are experiencing. The level of discomfort inside your body and the lack of results from trying so many different things. Putting it simply, people who say something like this, physical therapy probably worked really well for them, and physical therapy does work really well for a lot of people, but it doesn't work for everybody. And here comes the disclaimer. I do not intend to demonize exercise. Stretching and strengthening played a huge role in me opening my body, and I believe that it works really well for some people. It plays a huge role in feeling confident and competent in your body and in what you can do in the world. I absolutely love this work and I still engage with it regularly. But for you, or maybe you've tried a lot of it and it doesn't work, it is a very small piece of the pie compared to the releasing work that you could get into. And I'm speaking from experience. My body has historically been extremely stiff. I've encountered back pain, knee pain, and some hip pain because of it. Y'all, I was really stuck in my body. When I started, I could barely reach down past my knees and I could not open my hips at all. And all of it was really painful. And for some strange reason that I do not even understand, my whole adult life has been dedicated to learning how to open the body. I did a lot of stretching and corrective exercise, and I'm incredibly grateful that I did all of that. And I understand corrective exercise like the back of my hand. I understand the ideology, the musculature, and the angles. Every funny little position you could put your body in and make a muscle work. I understand all of that. Yet when I compare this type of work to the work of releasing your body and releasing oneself, the results are just not as effective. And honestly, this is just the hard truth that I've found. Personally, I wish I could just stretch all of it away. I think it would be easier and more entertaining. Now, I have many videos where I talk about this relationship of the body to the mind. And throughout these videos, I give a lot of detail as to what I'm alluding to here. I encourage you to flip through those videos to engage deeper in this process of learning and discovery. Right now, we're going to keep it really simple and really digestible as to what this releasing work is and how it could help. Let's get into it. When this level of discomfort arises in our body, whether it's tension or pain or whatever it is, we feel like a victim to these feelings. We think things like, why me? Or go away, leave me alone. But here's something to ponder. Consider your life. Consider your body tension and your body pain. Has this really come from nowhere? Does this really feel like a random assault on you? Or could there be a reason for it? Could there be something deeper, something underneath that leads to this physical pain or physical discomfort? When you sit with the idea of responsibility, what responsibility is yours here? Or perhaps better stated, What life circumstances, lifestyle, emotional suffering, disconnections, or your focuses or intentions, what has potentially led you here? And also, what happened to you? What in your life could possibly lead to this amount of closing down, this amount of tension and pain? Look, this is all to say that the fact that you're experiencing this is not random, and it's not a woe is me situation. God has not struck you and only you down. If you really sit with this and you really consider your life, there has been an accumulation of stress, anxiety, scary situation, shame, grief, fear, guilt, inadequacy, you name it. A long list of life experiences has led you to close down. It has led you here. And all of this stuff has piled up, and it's piled up because we haven't dealt with it. Now consider what creates tension in the first place. Well, it comes from all of these emotional experiences. We tense up because we're afraid, or we need to protect, or we need to run. Yes, physicality is involved with some of this, but underneath all of it, it comes from an emotion. And some people will say, well, I'm just tense because of my sports or my activities. And to them, I would prompt this question. Why then are some athletes really, really stiff, but why are others who do the same activities, the same things, very flexible? So is the physical effort really the variable? So tension arises in our lives, and if we don't have ways of releasing it, it will accumulate into chronic tension, and it will contribute to chronic pain. Now just consider this thought really quick. If your body was aligned very well and soft, what would there be to bug you? Now, of course, in our medical system, we have things like diagnoses like bone-on-bone impingements or tissue tears. But even in these cases, I would still ask the question, is my body aligned and is my body soft? Because if our bodies were actually aligned and the crap load of tension that we hold got to release, perhaps everything would move a little smoother, and it might be a little more fun to be in our bodies. Tension is a form of protection. It is a closing in on oneself. It's how we create a sense of safety in our bodies, at least when it begins. Now, everyone here watching this can think of a time when they saw, or maybe it's your toddler, you saw a toddler experience fear and fold into their mother's chest, afraid to look away. This is the protection that I'm talking about, and this is how what you're experiencing in your life comes into your body. This is a false sense of security. It makes you feel safe momentarily, but this safety will not last. Now you may think, yeah, maybe I did that when I was a young kid, but I'm not doing that now. Well, here's the wake-up call. If you have chronic tension or chronic pain, you are doing it right now as you listen to me speak. It is happening somewhere in your body. Can you pay attention to it? Can you feel the grasping happening in your body? The most common places are going to be the face, the shoulders lifting, the stomach squeezing, the glutes squeezing, or the thighs squeezing together. And they can be subtle, but they are happening. Now, these tensions that come into our body, they stay there unless we do something to get rid of them. And because most of us are very unaware of this process that's happening, we can spend our whole lives accumulating more and more tension. And then one day, boom, the back gets thrown out. The FAI appears. The shoulders can't reach up. You have a panic attack. You can't touch your toes. So again, I would ask you, was it really random that this happened? That is the main presentation that I have about what might be happening and why exercise might not be the solution. So then the next natural question is, okay, if it's chronic tension, then how do I go about undoing this chronic tension? Honestly, we can simplify it down to 2 practices. 1, learn how to release tension and practice very often. 2, we have to cut the subconscious patterns that we have of continuously bringing more tension into the system. In effect, we need to rewire our nervous system so that it doesn't respond to life's challenges with tension, with an output of tension. we can rewire the nervous system so that it responds with relaxation more and more as we continue our journey. And again, the next question is, how do I do this? I post practices on this channel pretty often, so I would just invite you to subscribe and try these practices as they release. You can also dig back into my content, try some of the relaxation meditations, the standing postures, and see how it feels in your body. I also do consultations. I work with people one-on-one. So if you feel like you might need some extra help in this releasing in the body, please reach out. You can see all that in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.